I want to welcome the GMs and the wives, the godly men and the warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women out there. This is going to be the first Semen Retention Sunday video that I've done in over a month now. For those that have been consistent with my channel and that have seen a lot of my content, that's where I've done a lot of understanding and research myself and just experienced it as well. And I took a break from it because I wanted the channel to be about more than just semen retention or more than just trying to not play with ourselves. But I don't want to negate the importance of semen retention and the impact that it's had and continues to have, not just in my life, but the success stories that I've seen of other people all around the world that are doing this practice and taking it seriously. Remember that semen retention is something that you're going to have actualized abundance in down the line because you're retaining your essence, you're understanding a deeper part of your spirituality, yourself, and you're ultimately growing closer to God. And that's what this journey really is all about. And not very many people are going to take the time to really take this practice seriously. And so if you're somebody that has gone even just a few days or a week, even 30 days, at that point, after 30 days, you're definitely in the top 5% category as far as your level of self-control and self-discipline. And to have that, especially as a man, is something that you ought to give yourself a pat on the back for, because not very many people have been able to do that. But the topic that I want to have for today specifically is why more people need to know about semen retention, not just men, but I think females as well. Women need to know about this kind of stuff. And because you don't really understand or appreciate the value of it until you see somebody actually practicing it. And so I've had moments in my semen retention journey for over 2 years now where there have been women that are almost just taken aback by the amount of energy that I have and by just the sheer fortitude of will that I have as well. They don't necessarily know what's exactly different. They just know that something about me is different. I've even had women tell me that they just know that something about me is different in a good way. And I've had women tell me that it's almost like they can see something more in me, that I just am who I am more than any other guy that she's talking to or any other person that she's talking to. And that's kind of a weird experience because it's not necessarily purely semen retention, but that's a contributing factor for sure. It's more about me being disciplined, not just in my sexuality, but also in my nutrition, in my exercise, in my finances. I mean, really, semen retention is the foundation in which you'll be able to level everything out the way that it ought to be, because if you can control your sexual urges, every other kind of impulse that you have is going to naturally have a lesser inclination to and desire for acting out. You see, everything is desire. Everything is desire, everything is passion in some way, shape, or form. And if you're able to transcend that desire and transcend that passion, to reorient that energy into something more, into something that's going to be a utility, whether that's your business, whether that's your actual exercising or nutrition, whatever it is that you're trying to build and create. Because I've said this before and I'll say it again on this channel, and I've even said this to people in my consultations whenever they say like, oh, I need to find this man, or I need to find this woman, or I need to find this job or find that job. Or It's like, you're not going to find it. You're going to have to create it. And what I mean by that is that you need to get out of the mind frame and the mindset, and more people need to do this, of consistent weakness of mental fortitude. It's almost like people are telling themselves a story that they're wanting to reinforce so that they don't have to do what's necessary down the line when the time actually comes to do that thing. And that's really unfortunate to see, but at the end of the day, if you're somebody that is really striving to build and to create and to really set your will into the universe as one with God, then everything about your life is going to naturally unfold in a way that's going to produce more meaning. It's going to produce more really of everything. This is what actualized abundance is. And the society that we live in doesn't like men that have actualized abundance, because that means that they actually have options, control, and maneuverability in their lives. They don't want men, society does not want men to have these three things. They don't want men to have these things, because what does that equal for a man? It equals freedom and opportunity for himself to create the life that he wants to live on his terms. Society doesn't want to, and I don't like using the term alpha or beta, but they are the practical terms to use here. The society that we live in and the universe itself actually will reward the people with, specifically the men, with actualized abundance, more so than it will gratify the women that have actualized abundance. Oftentimes, women that have actualized abundance, which is almost every woman nowadays, like most women believe that they ought to have actualized abundance. And in a way they do, because of all of the options available. But a lot of women don't want to put in the work to create the lifestyle that they want. And, they'll want a long-term relationship, but they're going to make decisions that go against the long-lasting relationship that they're trying to build. And some women will casually emasculate men without even realizing it, because they're just so used to men worshiping the ground that they walk on, that when they finally meet a man that is standing up for himself, they almost don't even know how to handle it. like I've met women that I've told no to, and one of them 6 to 8 months ago, whatever it was November or December last year. And one of these women that I was talking to and I said no to, she told me that I was the first male to ever tell her no. And she was in her early 20s. And that was just insane to me. I can't imagine walking the earth for that long, never being told no. And to finally have somebody being told, like, it's telling you no. I can only imagine what that would be like. In a way, it might be refreshing, and also it might be daunting, because a lot of the times beautiful women get what they want, and they often don't even ever meet a man that is aware of the deeper spirituality that comes with semen retention or anything like that, but that is also following Jesus, and that is also creating the life that he wants. A lot of Christians out here, and I'm someone that follows Jesus. I will say that. It's for me, it's semantics. I say that I follow Jesus. I don't say that I'm a Christian. And a lot of these Christian men out here are so freaking soft. It's unbelievable. And so just people saying, oh, I'm a Christian. Well, for men anymore, that doesn't mean that they're strong, hardworking, and capable, and competent, and confident. It doesn't mean that they're those things anymore. And women that say that they're Christian, it doesn't mean that they're pure, that they're innocent, that they're the sweet little angels that have never been that I was I was gonna say that have never had a willy waggle in their mouth, but that's it. That's not a Christian, a modern Christian nowadays. Most of the Christians out here have already done this stuff, and with multiple men, with multiple women, and I don't think it's good for anybody. I don't think that sleeping around is good for men. I don't think that sleeping around is good for women. And I do think that it hinders women far more than men. But this goes back to biblical teaching. And I'm not necessarily even saying that, well, because it's in the Bible, it means that we have to do this. Because I'm somebody that wants to question everything. And I think that it's important to question everything. But something that Paul says in the Bible is that you ought to abide like me if you're not married. And what that means is that because Paul was celibate. And so being on semen retention, no fap, whatever you want to call it, it's not necessarily that semen retention and celibacy are the same thing, but that's a whole nother topic. But in general, people need to know more about semen retention, celibacy, and the profound impact that it can have on your life if you are willing to see it through. A lot of times people that say that they've done like 20 days or 30 days or whatever and nothing happens, there almost every single time I've asked somebody, well, do you follow Christ, or do you are you trying to go closer to God? A lot of times they say no, that they're trying to do it for women or they're trying to do it for attention. And it's like, well, and of course not. Of course you're not going to get the kind of results that you're looking for because you're not putting the proper intentions going into it. So have the proper intentions and you'll get that actualized abundance that you're looking for and that you're seeking. And again, it's not about looking for it. It's not about necessarily seeking it. It's about creating it. And with that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. And until next time, peace be with you.